guys, I'm doing okay, but I've got to get help. I'm hanging in. I'm trying my best. This is Weinstein's spokeswoman has said. Any allegations of non-consensual sex are unequivocally denied. So he's admitting to his sexual escapades, but he's saying that all the other ones are total bullshit, that everything else was consensual. Now, this is deja vu, because if you take a look, there's a lot of allegations that are very similar to this with Trump. And the only difference between, well, actually, they're pretty similar because there's tapes here that really show the mindset of this beast.
Yeah, and the New York Police Department didn't think they had enough evidence when they taped that young Italian actress, and he comes out with his robe opened up, and she just completely walked after he wanted to touch her beautiful ample breasts. I can just imagine what they look like.
Can you
get a tape of that, Johnny?
No.
Don't talk like that.
No, but that's what you just did. You see pictures?
But it doesn't matter. You
Yeah, but she's on the
you shouldn't
she's
talk
on the
like
red
that. You're just as
carpet.
bad as him, but talk
No,
like
I'm
that.
not. Come on.
Don't talk like that. What I'm saying.
She had him.
What I'm saying to you is that it's very similar between Donald Trump, President Trump, when he admitted that he can grab. If you're famous, you can grab somebody by the pussy.
Yeah.
And they won't do anything. Those are his words. They're not secondary. They're not hearsay. Those are his words. There he is. There's his face. There's his person, and there's his voice. And then when you listen to the tape of the girl who tried to protect herself because she was scared because he's apparently 6'2", 6'1" or 6'2".
I think.
270, 280. He's a big man. Everybody was very afraid of him.
Yeah. Here's my slice of personal philosophy, and Bill, jump in, please. And you can say I'm full of crap. Trump, a lot of these people were they weren't beauty pageant contest possibilities. They're just normal, just people he just want to grab and kiss. With Weinstein, when you've got people like Gwyneth Paltrow, who won an Oscar for Shakespeare in Love under his watch, and Jolie and all the great actors, they had a lot more to lose if they said no and came out when he allegedly groped them and was, in certain arrays of undress in front of them. They had a lot more to lose.
Well, I've read over the last days that there's been, just like Bill Cosby,
yes,
there's been a lot of talk in the past of this guy, and he people have known that this is the type of guy that he is, and the advice to a lot of the women were, don't be alone with this guy,
because you can't change a leopard's spots, man.
A snake sheds its skin, but not its habits.
Yeah. And Jolie did the right thing. She said, you know what, I had an involvement with him, and I just walked, and I will never work with this man again. And you know how many millions she was, up for? It's just, that's probably why they didn't come out. Up until now. But when it rains, it pours.
Well, I think it's the same with, Bill Cosby. The allegations have destroyed his legacy. You can't see the Bill Cosby show anywhere.
They're taking a statue down at Disneyland.
Taking a statue down at Disneyland. And it's not going to be a good thing going forward. I think that I read that his brother made a statement with TMZ, or TMZ verified a statement, where his brother called him a very sick man, and Harvey Weinstein accused his brother of putting this shit out to get rid of him because they've had a tempestuous relationship for a while. So we'll see where that goes. But I believe if the Weinstein Company will be saved, it will be that the whole board is going to be replaced.
Yeah.
Because
maybe even change the name of the company.
Who's the brains?
The brains was him.
Yeah.
The brains was him.
Absolutely.
If you talk to a lot of people, they'll say that he could smell a good script.
Yeah.
He could smell a good movie. And you know, a lot of people said that he was very pompous and obtuse in making a lot of people rewrite scripts and stuff. But his movies did great, and the original company Miramax was named after his father and his mother, Mira and Max.
That's right.
And so I think that you know, they sold it to Disney, or Disney became the major shareholder in the portfolio of Miramax, and they started the Weinstein Company, which was very successful. I mean, you know, Pulp Fiction.
Well, we mentioned Shakespeare in Love.
Shakespeare, a ton of movies. The Artist.
Good one.
He had a nose for picking movies, and even though they've been in financial difficulty, I would say in the last 2-3 years, from what I'm reading. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think that for all intents and purposes, I think that the Weinstein Company's finished.
Yeah. And not only was the brains, he was the face. He was the guy on the red carpet.
Yeah, but he was also
But not as opposed to his brother, though, you know?
He was also very instrumental in picking the movies. He was also very instrumental in marketing the movies, and he was also very instrumental in being the liaison to politicians and to the Oscars.
Yeah.
And what did his brother do?
That's a good
He
question.
was a numbers guy. No, it's not a good question. It's a fact.
I didn't know that. That's a good
His
question.
brother
I didn't know
was-
that.
His brother was the numbers guy. His brother was the I would say, in my analogy, would be like the CFO, the chief financial officer, the guy who ran the numbers and checked it. But I believe that he was inconsequential because the entrepreneur or the guy who was the energy was Weinstein.
And you're right about not
Guys,
buying.
find out exactly what the official title of his brother was.
You're right about not buying Oscars, but just the money he put into, you know, Variety magazine and Rolling Stone. Jennifer Lawrence won an Oscar, not an Oscar, but a Golden Globe for Silver Linings Playbook, which is one of Weinstein's films. And she got up on stage and said, "Thank you, Harvey, for all the people you had to kill to get me this Golden Globe award."
Yeah, but also he did the parties. He did
Absolutely.
for all the
'Cause he
people
had the-
that were part of the academy.
Yeah.
He did all the parties. He sent out CDs, DVDs, whatever the fuck.
For your
VHS.
consideration.
Yeah.
With maybe who knows what else? A case of champagne, a nice scotch, you know?
I don't know. I'm not going to get into supposition, but the facts are
I bet.
that he was very diligent. Don't bet. He was very diligent in staying on top of what he had to do to market his movies to the Academy.
But
or to
Frank,
the
you're a
Golden Globes.
filmmaker. You know what it takes to get
No, I
behind a
don't.
film.
I don't send
I'm not talking about
champagne.
bribing. I'm not talking about
I don't
bribing.
send champagne. Tomorrow
But
night,
it happens.
Tomorrow night, for the first time, I'm getting an award at the TIFF building. I don't know what it is. They called me, and to me, I didn't take anybody to dinner, didn't buy anybody a hamburger,
Congratulations.
and didn't send them any lasagna from Mama D's. They called me, told me to be there, and I'm excited.
Bravo.
Head of the Weinstein Company and Dimension Films. He's
But-
the head of it.
The head. He wasn't a. He was the CEO.
Well, that's what it says.
CEO.
That's what it says.
So his brother was the CEO, Chief Executive Officer.
The money guy.
But you know, the two brothers were together for 40 years, Bill. They produced concerts together in New York. I mean, Harvey Weinstein was the driving force of the two brothers, and the last few years, I imagine his brother knew the payoffs because the payoffs weren't coming from the company because you couldn't do that. To the people that were to silence them, I think there was 8 total.
Yep.
And it is what it is, and I personally don't think the company will survive. I mean, I'm sure that somebody's going to buy the assets, which is the portfolio of the movies that
Oh, yeah.
it's a studio that they own, and it's the same thing as when they sold their business to Disney, Miramax, and we'll see what happens to the current company.